Touching the sky, what's holding you back? You gotta fly like an eagle and go high. What's holding you back? Holding you back from touching the sky. Oh, holding you back. You finally gotta reach for the sky.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of What's Holding You Back. My name is Rob McCray from the Business Building Network, and we are so glad to have you with us this evening, this afternoon, this morning, depending on where in the world you are watching us from. We're going to have a phenomenal time as we have a very special guest coming on with us this afternoon. And he is none other than Dr. Philip Reid, a digital creator. And we're going to bring him on in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we want to give you a brief demonstration or introduction of what the broadcast is all about, as we be coming before you every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And the purpose for these broadcasts is to make sure that you are encouraged, you are inspired, and you are also enlightened to be the best possible version of yourself. And for those of you that aspire to have a business for yourself, well, we want to make sure that we're showing you some of the tips and the strategies that you can use to elevate yourself and take your business to that next level. So that is the main purpose for these broadcasts and why we're coming before you every Wednesday at 6 p.m. So just buckle up and stay with us for the next 20 minutes or so, as we're going to bring on our guest, and he's going to show you and tell you about some of the things in which he has been doing within his business. But before we get into that, as we always like to do, we always like to start off with a word of inspiration. And our word of inspiration comes from none other than John W. Gardner. And it reads, "The creative individual has the capacity to free himself from the web of social pressures in which the rest of us are caught. He is capable of questioning the assumptions that the rest of us accept." And that is powerful right there. And we have a very creative person coming with us this afternoon. And this quote is very fitting in dealing with the gentleman that's going to be coming on with us this afternoon. And when it says a creative individual has the capability to free himself from them social pressures, meaning he doesn't have to go along with the flow or the perception of others. He's willing to stand on his own grounds because he is firm in his or her beliefs and what they are truly rooted and grounded in. So this is a very fitting quote, one that is very profound, and it has a lot of meaning to it. So with that being said, let us bring on our guest for this afternoon, and he is none other than Dr. Philip Reid. Greetings, my brother. How are you, sir?
Brethren, it is good to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, it is my pleasure. So good to have you here with us this afternoon, my brother.
Yes.
Yes, I know you're a very busy man, so we're not going to keep you too long, but we had to bring you on board and get
Absolutely.
all of the wonderful things in which you're doing. It has been a long time in trying to get you onto the broadcast, but it is well worth the wait, and we're looking forward to
Amen.
hearing all of the wonderful things in which you are doing. All right, so let us first get started. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and give us a little background history about yourself, your upbringing, and all of that good stuff.
Okay, so first of all, thank you, Robbie, for this awesome opportunity to be on your program. I think it's a great show, and just keep up that good work. My name is Philip Reid, and I'm the president of Pheonix National Network. I had the vision for this very long time ago. In fact, I think it all started around the time that we first met, and then further on down, we started doing our own projects.
Right.
But this was something that was really just started out as doing digital marketing. I
Hmm.
started I started as Pheonix National Business Group in 2009.
Wow.
And then it evolved into Pheonix National Network because I was just building websites and doing digital marketing. This is when social media just really started budding, bearing fruit. Started taking off, Facebook and all of that. And so now we're in the Pheonix National Network mode, and that is where we produce podcasts. We still do websites, and we still do marketing campaigns. In fact, I did my first political campaign
Oh,
in 2019 for the Board of Education, and it was really awesome.
wow.
Yeah, and my candidate won, so that was a good
Hey,
thing. My candidate won.
there we go. There we go. Awesome, brother.
you
Awesome.
know. So I've always wanted to do that. And to God be the glory, man. Listen, sometimes we think that God is not listening,
Hmm.
but He is.
Yes.
And all you have to do is really have that desire to do, and trust that God is going to help you to do the rest. And that's
Hmm.
really, I give all glory to God on this, because all the opportunities that came
Hmm.
is all Him,
Yes.
right? And I think one of the keys of being successful is knowing when an opportunity is standing right before you,
Amen.
right?
Yes.
And you can either choose to go ahead and say, yes, let me do this, or say, man, this is not for me. This is not for me, because
Hmm.
you're not familiar. And, that's where we are right now. We've progressed into a collaboration of entrepreneurs that have come together to form PNN Business Solutions of
Wow.
America.
Okay.
And so you see the evolving, you see how it evolved. It evolved from just being a website and digital marketing company to now we've collaborated with other entrepreneurs, and now we're developing something that's going to help entrepreneurs grow their business.
That's awesome.
We provide digital marketing services,
Okay.
merchant services, uh, health programs.
Hmm.
In case you can't afford the insurance that's out there now, which there's some people paying $3,000 a month, Rob, for health insurance, for just health insurance, and that's after deductible. Okay, and the out of pocket. So there's a lot of things that are out there that a group of us
Hmm.
who are entrepreneurs know that if you are self-employed, or if you are your own boss and you have people under you, you have a certain burden you're carrying. And so we're trying to make things more affordable for people to be able to do the business that they love to do, that they're passionate about. We're
Awesome.
also looking at ways of creating residual income for the
Okay.
entrepreneur. Because right
Wonderful.
now, a lot of folks are thinking, man, I need to go back to that W-2 job. I need to go back to that cubicle and work this cubicle out, because their business isn't flourishing as much as they expected. But there
Yeah.
are other ways that you can support your business.
Sure.
I'm learning about something called infinite banking,
Okay.
which our community really needs to tap into, because that is one real way. I met a doctor the other day that financed her entire company out of her own bank account, infinite banking,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And it is amazing that this thing has been around for so long, but our community doesn't know about it, or doesn't, or is not getting involved in it because they think it's like a hocus pocus thing.
Right,
But
right.
it's not. It's real. For years we would think the stock market was like taboo. Oh my God, I don't want to gamble my
Mhm.
money. But the stock market isn't gambling.
No, it's an investment.
It's an investment. It's calculated risk, right?
Right.
And so you've got to really just, there's safe areas in the stock market to invest. So we just got to open our minds to learn.
That's it. That's it. So you mentioned that you do some website building. You
Hmm.
also help other businesses in creating more leads and sales for their businesses, and
Hmm.
you also do podcasting as well, correct?
Yeah, we do podcast production. So we help folks. A lot of people have a vision of how a message in their heart
Hmm.
that they want to present to the world.
Okay.
The thing is, how do I package that? How
Okay.
do I market that? How do I focus in on my message
Hmm.
and make it clear and palatable for the marketplace?
Okay.
And that is key, right? Because if you just kind of put yourself out there, you're scattershotting at uh, hoping that you hit somebody.
Hmm.
But if you focus in on just who you are personally, and focus in on your message and how you want to present that message to the world, you will find your audience. You will find your audience. There are over 6 point something billion people with cell phones out there, with computers
That's right.
that are listening to short clips and things like that. Any and all of us can find our audience in this kind of environment.
Yeah, you just have to put yourself out there. They're out there waiting to hear from you. It's just a matter of you putting yourself in front of them. So that's awesome, brother. You have a way and a concept to put your audience in front of the right people so that they can
Hmm.
be a part of what you are doing. So that is awesome, brother. Yes, glad to hear that. All right. So now, so you said when did you start the business?
2009.
2009. Okay.
2009. Yes,
So we got
that's
six
it.
years running. All right. Good, good. All right. So would you say is money the top priority for you in starting your business?
No. Well, money is essential, but it can't be your top priority
Okay.
because it takes us. It takes a passion to drive you through the hard times,
Yes.
right? It takes you understanding why you're doing what you're doing to get through those pockets of, if you're not sure if this is the right thing that you're doing,
Hmm.
right? And you're going to have that in your own business. I don't know any entrepreneur that hasn't had that moment of, am I crazy? Should I just be working for somebody? Steve Jobs, all of these guys have had those moments of,
Oh yeah.
did I make the right choice?
Yep.
And so, but as you stick to it and as you find your niche and their place of being consistent, that's
Hmm.
where profitability comes in. And that's where you start discovering the value of what you're doing,
Okay.
and the why you're doing it. Like, I try to keep my prices as affordable as possible
Right.
because the regular entrepreneur cannot afford to pay what I am truly worth,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So if we break it down and share the responsibility of production,
Mm.
then it becomes cheaper for everybody,
Right. Right.
right? And that's what PNN is about. It's Pheonix National Network, where the entrepreneur gets to partner with other entrepreneurs and
Gotcha.
create streamlines of marketing under one umbrella that causes everyone to see all of us at the same time,
Beautiful. Beautiful, brother. I love that. I
right?
love that. Yes. So that's going to bring me to my next question, and that has to deal with the network, everybody working together as one. So, how important is it to have built up a network or a team?
Your network is your net worth.
Mm,
That's not original. That's something I got, I believe, from Zig Ziglar,
okay.
who said that in his book. Your network is your net worth,
Yes.
right? The people you connect with can either improve you, take you to the next level, or depreciate your value,
Come on.
right? Because if they're not pursuing something, you're going to find yourself not in pursuit of anything,
Mm,
right? So it's important to connect with like-minded people
that's right.
going somewhere you want to go,
All right.
doing things that you're familiar with. That's why I would try to go to Podfest. They have this group of podcasters that meet once a year. It's not the only one, but it's the one that I like. They meet in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and they meet throughout the year too to plan for this huge event. Last year they had over 1,500 different podcasters just in one room. I mean, when you feel the vibe of all those podcasters just talking about their shows and what they're doing, and you see all that passion in one room.
Right.
You learn, you grasp,
Oh,
you see what other people's are doing. There were people there that that are making over $1 million a year
wow.
just podcasting. And so you have to sit back and go, okay, what am I not doing
Mm-hmm.
that they're doing
Right.
that I need to do in order to get where they are,
Just a piece,
right?
just a little piece. That's all I need.
This, and but you really don't. I mean, the thing is, you really don't need to do everything that they're doing.
That's right.
You just need to find out what the missing parts to what you're doing in your business, and then kind of link to those things. It's
Yep.
like they had a legal seminar there. I know I'm advertising Podfest, but it was a beneficial part of my business.
Okay.
Every time I go, I learned something new that I needed to add to my business in order to make it better.
There you go. Awesome.
And so I don't believe I would be where I am now if I didn't integrate that into my lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to take little bits and pieces from all different areas and initiate or integrate that into our business to make it grow
Right.
and get us to the place in which we so desire. So yeah, that's beautiful, brother. So where do you see your business in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you want to be?
Retired. No, but no, but no. In 5 to 10 years, I project by the grace of God that we'll be with the growth that we're experiencing, not in numbers as people, but primarily just in our efforts.
Mm,
I really believe that we're going to be at a higher level of production because we're servicing people now with technologies that's going to improve their business.
right.
Shared technologies that entrepreneurs can pull together and utilize to monetize their business.
Hmm.
A lot of us just kind of go out there and grab something and we pay the majority of the money for it because, we need to integrate that into our business without realizing that you are paying a majority of the bill,
Right.
right? If we work together, our motto is winning together.
Yep.
Together we can win, right? And so if we work together, we can win together.
Absolutely.
That's the principle. If we work together, we can win together. If we come together financially, we can win together financially.
That's it.
You know, if we collaborate together, then we can win together. So that's why we're tapping into the health industry,
Okay.
right? We have a few pharmaceutical programs that you can build residual income from. You know,
Mm.
POS systems, credit card processing. You can
Okay.
build some residual business out of that. And we have so much more. I mean, it is just kind of because we decided to collaborate, all of our minds have culminated this vision of the PNN business solutions,
Mm.
right? And that's why it's overhead, because now it is really kind of creating that harness of, wow, we can provide residual income for everyone in our partnership group
Okay.
and help them create the vision that they're looking for their business, while advertising and creating platforms for them to broadcast their business through.
Ooh, that's strong.
Yes,
That's
that's
strong.
the power of networking. That's the power of collaboration.
Yes. 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 And as you can see here on the bottom of the screen, it's Dr. Philip Reid's website, which is pnnstationplus.com. Please go over and visit his website and see all of the different features that he has to offer and so much more. So, I was going to say Dr. Phil, but we're not going to
Yeah.
do that. We're going to say Dr. Reid. Dr. Reid. So, what were some of the challenges that you faced when you were starting your business?
Man, the challenge, first of all, it was the belief that it could be done.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
And I'm starting up here. I'm starting with the challenges up here because that was the main thing. I had a job, and you know, it's hard to break away from getting that paycheck, that guaranteed money
right.
every week, and then kind of like going all in for your business. But
That's right.
the
Uh-huh.
truth is, in 2009 when I started, I was still working,
Okay.
and I'm still working even now.
Sure.
You know, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are, you know, double timing,
Hmm.
right? You do your consistent thing, but now it's all business for me.
All right.
Even though it's consistent, it's either a 1099 or it's my business, and it's all business for me now. But before now, I had to really, you know, work that W-2 in order to support my business. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
don't be afraid. What I'm saying is, don't be afraid of that.
Yeah. You
If
said.
you have, yeah, don't be afraid of that. If you have to do your W-2 and do your business part time, do that.
Yeah.
Develop your business. Be
That's right.
consistent with it,
Hmm.
and you know, go to work.
That's
Do your best at work. If you take your W-2 and you feed your business with a piece of your W-2 every month,
hmm
before you know it, you're in full-time business.
There you go.
Before you know it.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, brother, because so many people, that is always the biggest fear. What if the business
Hmm.
doesn't work? It is not able to sustain myself and my family. And
Hmm.
that is the biggest fear that many of us have when it comes to starting our business. So, like you said, work your job or work whatever hustle that you have going on the side in conjunction with starting off your business, and let that money uh, can continue to sustain or maintain your business until the
Hmm.
business is able to take off and sustain itself. It's going to be a
Hmm.
process, and most times out of 10, the first year or two, the business is not going to be able to sustain itself. So you're going to
Right
need
on.
some other income coming in to propel the business, to make it stay afloat, and you as well, until that business can actually go out and sustain itself on its own. So yeah.
So
So that,
wait, I want to throw something here with that. I want to just throw something in with that, Rob, before you close out.
yes.
I drove Uber and Lyft
There you go.
for a lot of years in order to feed my business.
Yep. Yep.
I would take 4 hours in a day and drive Uber and Lyft, and
Hmm.
it would have helped me to kind of cover some of the costs.
Yes.
Now I don't drive Uber and Lyft as much. I drive because I like it. I want to meet people.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I meet a lot of business people while driving Uber and Lyft.
Continue to grow
I
your
meet a
business.
lot of business people. Your network is your net worth.
Come on.
So, like I said, don't be afraid to do these little side things in order to kind of feed the vision that you have.
Wow. Awesome, brother. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Final question before we close out this session for today. So, what advice, what tips would you give to our listening and viewing entrepreneurs as to um, some things that they can do when it comes to starting their business, or how to get over those hurdles and those challenges in which we are faced with?
Okay, so the first thing is write down one of the first things I did, and this was advice I got from a mentor.
Okay.
So, one, find a mentor. Find
Yeah.
somebody who is where you want to be,
Hmm.
right? That's number one. Number two, write down the thing that you're most gifted at.
Okay.
Write down the thing that you are good at, that you want to do. If nobody paid you to do this thing, would you still do it? Right? And write that down.
Yes.
And then study that industry.
Hmm.
Find out how much people are charging for whatever services or products or whatever you're looking to provide. Find out how that business functions and operates,
Hmm.
right? Develop a business plan and a mode of operation. What are you going to do? See, the toughest thing for entrepreneurs is, what am I going to do every day that I get up? Right? I don't have a boss telling me what to do. I don't have somebody kind of giving me this list of to-dos. So you have to wake up and provide your own to-do list.
That's right.
And that's one of the hardest parts is not what you do on occasion that makes you successful. It's
Hmm.
not what you do, once in a while. It's what you do on an everyday basis.
Consistency.
Consistency. You said the word. Consistency produces success.
Yeah.
And so it's learning. If you don't be afraid, do not be afraid. This is my number 5. Do not be afraid of failure.
Hmm.
Because failure is not loss. Failure is learning.
Yes.
Right? Failure is not loss. Failure is learning. So learn when you fail.
That's
That's
right.
called progress. That's how cars were invented. That's how planes were invented. That's
Hmm.
how anything you utilize. That's how companies are invented. I mean, how many of us go to McDonald's? You see McDonald's and you think, oh, wow, McDonald's is such a wonderful place to go and eat, right? Some of you. But think about this. It started out with 2 guys in
Hmm.
one place down south just making burgers. The thing that they loved to do was just make burgers.
Okay.
And now, years later, we are still eating their burgers.
That's
We're
right.
still eating their fries,
Hmm.
right? Because they created a system for their business. They understood what their business was. They
Hmm.
understood what their passion was, and they stuck to it.
That's
That's
it.
really, there's a method, and I hope I don't get caught on this one, but there's a method I like to call the McDonald's method.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I call it the McDonald's method because I watching how they developed that business from this corner store restaurant
Hmm.
that said, oh, maybe we can make this making burgers and fries and thing efficient. We can create a system that is more efficient. And that's all they did, Rob. That's all they did. They went into their industry with something just a little bit different.
Mhm.
And we are looking at it now as one of the largest chain restaurants in the world.
That it is. That
It is. So
Mhm.
don't be afraid of failure and don't be afraid to change.
Awesome,
That's
brother.
my final that's my final advice.
Love it, love it, love it. So yes, there you have it from our very own Dr. Philip Reid from Pheonix National Network. And as you can see there, his website at the bottom of the screen. So please, by all means, go over to his website and see all of the different services that he has to offer. So my brother,
Can I give my phone number as well, Robbie?
absolutely, by all means.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, if you'd like to reach out to me, you can give me a call at 973-391-5813, or you can call me at 862-237-3430 as well.
You know you're a busy man when you got to carry two phones around with him. One more time on the numbers, brother.
Okay, so I'm going to give you that number again. That's 862-237-3430, or you can reach me at 973-391-5813.
Thank you so much. So there you have it from our very own Dr. Philip Reid from Pheonix National Network. It was a pleasure having you on with us, my brother, and we look forward to seeing you real soon. So family,
Anybody who calls me from this show will get 10% off.
That's it?
That's it, 10%. Hey, I got the profit.
But yeah, love it, brother. All the best to you. So yes.
Same here, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, all the best to you, my brother. So yes, we're going to close off this edition of the segment for What's Holding You Back. We just want to thank each and every one of you for joining us and being a part of the broadcast. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to our YouTube channels. And for my co-host who is not here with us today, which is Christine Allen, her YouTube channel is Clear Ambitions. My YouTube channel is Rob McCray Networking. And Dr. Reid, your YouTube channel is?
At Pheonix National Network.
Pheonix National Network. All right, family. So once again, thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week at 6 p.m. right here on What's Holding You Back.
I wanna succeed and not to be a spoke in the wheel. Told myself there's more to this than just waking up when I feel. So I made a commitment to turn my earnings up. Couldn't see myself as an employee that still couldn't. Looked in the mirror, saw a spark in my eye. Knew I had to hustle and stop living a lie. I packed my dreams in a suitcase, took the first train. I'm headed for the horizon with success, there's no doubt. What's holding you back? Holding you back?